the internet's full. So we are 1 month away from the greatest film of all time. The greatest of all time. Okay, I'll stop doing the Trump voice. Piece of shit. Anyway. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a really crazy video. I'm filming this late at night, so I'm tired. And I just recorded my last video that you probably just saw. So. But yes, there was Sinners, a really amazing film that is probably actually the best of the year. And it definitely is going to put original films back on the map to the general audience. So thank you, Ryan. Seriously, dude. Thank you for creating something so special. But let's be honest. America sucks right now. It's depressing living here. It's chaotic living here. It sucks. And we need a hopeful character to bring us some hope. Because this country's really dark and we need that light of hope. And what is that? Superman. Superman has always been the beacon of hope and kindness. And people have forgotten how to be kind in the world, especially in this country. We need that kindness again. We need that hope again. So when I say James Gunn's Superman is very important, just not for setting up his DC universe. I'm talking about for the world, this country. It's very important. Am I being dramatic? Of course I am. But it is kind of important. Let's be honest. Dude, those trailers. You cannot tell me those trailers don't look amazing. And gives you hope. Gives you motivation. Oh, those trailers are freaking special. They really are special, those trailers. Those 3 trailers that we got from December to a few weeks ago to yesterday. Not yesterday for you guys, I'm talking about when I'm filming this. The new trailer was released yesterday. Amazing. It looks like it's gonna have good emotion. The story looks good. Lex Luthor looks like a petty bitch. I love it. Give me a petty Luthor. We need it. We haven't seen that since Smallville, so give it to me. Oh, that didn't look right. But we have not had a petty Luthor since the Smallville show, so give me petty Luthor. David Cornsweet looks like Superman. He acts like Superman. He's going to be such a good Superman. The film looks good. I don't understand the hate. Yes, I do. It's the Snyder box and it's the Snyder films. They're kind of like Trumpers where they're fucking nuts. And I hate to tell you guys, Zack Snyder moved on. You guys should move on and just appreciate good art because Superman looks amazing. And if you don't think so, that's fine. But for those people that are hating everything about this film, every shot, it's like, can you guys get a life? Seriously, I get it. You want the Zack Snyder films. Most people didn't like that, including me. I'm going to explain later on. When I was a kid, I did love the Snyder DC films, but 12 years later, reading more comics, watching more DC content, yeah, it wasn't that great, to be honest. And I'm glad that we are moving on, and the universe looks bright, it looks hopeful, and the DC universe finally looks good. As a long life DC fan, it's about time DC gets some respect, so thank you, James Gunn. Seriously, dude, thank you. So, talking about Man of Steel, for the next month, I hope. You know how my shitty schedule is. Not because I'm busy, it's just because I am. It's laziness, I'll be honest. But hopefully, the next month, until the release of James Gunn's Superman, I'm going to talk about every Superman film. Even Superman Returns. Oh my god, that is a rough watch. You ever watch Superman Returns with Brandon Routh? Brandon Routh, who did a fantastic job, but he was wasted. Ooh. Ooh. That's what I think about Superman Returns. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a rough watch, but I'm going to talk about it because it's going to get me to finding the Superman we've been wanting for years. So I'm going to be talking about every Superman films until the release of James Gunn Superman, where I'm going to give my review on that version of Superman when it gets released July 11th. And I'm really excited because I love Superman. Yeah, when I was younger, I wasn't a fan of Superman, but getting older, I appreciate him a lot more, and I'm a big fan of Superman now. As you can see, well, it's right bottom. these are all my comic collections right now. I'm still collecting a lot more. But yeah, I don't know where I was going there, to be honest. When I was younger, I wasn't a fan, but since getting more comic books, reading more comic books, especially DC comic books mostly, and me having a few Superman comics and collecting a lot more, I love the character. Yeah, my favorite is still the Flash and Batman, but my top 3 are still the Flash, Batman, Superman. Yeah, Superman was on that top 3 for a long time. Now, the last, I don't know, since COVID, he's been on my top 3. I love Superman now. And yeah, so I'm super excited to talk about all the Superman films, even the Zack Snyder ones. And I cannot wait to get to the Christopher Reeves Superman films. I love those films. Yes, I even love Quest of Peace more than 3. When you watch these videos, you're going to be convinced finally that Superman 3 is not great at all. It's a fucking train wreck of a film. And Superman 4 is not great. It's not good. But it's fun as hell. I love Quest for Peace. So yeah, I'm very excited. We're going to talk about it all month until the release of James Gunn Superman, like I keep on saying, like a broken record. And yeah, super excited. And why not start with the most controversial Superman film, Man of Steel? Do you know the last Superman film was 12 years ago? Man of Steel? Why did it take so long? Oh, because that's a video for another day about the history about Warner Bros. Hating Superman, especially Henry Cavill's Superman. That's really weird. But yeah, it's weird, the relationship with Superman and Warner Bros. It's Warner Bros., especially when AT&T owned them, hated Henry Cavill's Superman. That's why we never got a Man of Steel 2 or a trilogy. Yeah, but James Gunn running DC Studios, he loves every DC character, so we're in good hands finally. But it took a long time for Superman to get respect. Not since the Christopher Reeves era. It's been like almost 50 years to finally getting Superman having respect again, so thank you very much. Well, does Man of Steel age well? 50-50. Yeah, it's kind of weird, the history of Man of Steel, because, like I said, when I was a kid, I loved Man of Steel. That was my first experience with Superman, by the way, was Man of Steel. And that's how I thought Superman acted. And, you know, I defended this film for years. Just like all of DCEU, I defended it for years. And then I grew up and I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? Especially with me getting more knowledge of these characters. Zack Snyder did not do these characters justice. Like, seriously. Like, it's crazy. Like, how these Snyder fans think he loves these characters. He does not love superhero. There's a clip that resurfaced I'll show now.
Watchmen, deconstructing like superheroes. It's like, hey, do you want to make a Superman movie? It's like, well, I'm about to tear him down. Right? I'm going to kill him. Right. I'm not interested in fixing him or making him interesting. He's the enemy right now.
Did you enjoy the clip? Good. That he doesn't like superheroes. That's why he liked Watchmen, because Watchmen was the opposite of superheroes. That's why he liked The Dark Knight Rises. That's Christopher Nolan. I'm talking about the Frank Miller's Dark Knight. That's why he liked it, because it was opposite of superheroes. He does not like superheroes. So you Snyder cults be like, Zack Snyder cares. He cares about these characters. James Gunn doesn't. James Gunn is the devil. But Zack is the fucking god and he can't do anything wrong. Well, guess what? He doesn't like these characters, especially Superman and Batman. He fucked up those characters. That anger is going to be me when I talk about Batman vs. Superman, a film that I used to love. And now I still like it, but I don't love it anymore. I can tell you that. I have so much issue, especially when it comes to Batman. Me being a huge Batman fan, it's very disservice to that fan base, I can tell you that. So, back to Man of Steel. But I will say this, I will always have a nostalgia for the DCEU because, like I said, I grew up with them. I don't love them anymore. When I talk about I don't love them, I'm talking about the early DCEU. I love those films when I was younger. Now as an adult, I like them, but I don't love them anymore. Because there's a lot wrong with those films, and I can And it's crazy how I used to defend these films like the Snyder cults do. Yeah, I used to defend the Zack Snyder DC films. I was about to die on that hill, and then I grew up, and like I said, I was like, what the hell was I thinking defending this? Especially watching a lot more films, watching a lot more DC animated shows and films, and reading the comics now. I'm like, holy shit, I was wrong. I'll admit it, I was wrong defending Zack Snyder's DC universe. And like I said, I'm nostalgic for it, I still like them, but there's no love for those films anymore. Yeah, how they just killed themselves, that universe, like, Warner Bros. Time Warner, this video is just gonna be very confusing for you guys who aren't into filmmaking or like entertainment news. Like, you're gonna be confused, but if you do like filmmaking like me, or you like watching a lot of films, sit down, it's history time. Because when Time Warner, one of the longest owners of Warner Bros., when they were making those DC films, they could not give a damn about these characters. They just wanted to rush with Marvel. They knew Marvel was making a lot of money, and they wanted that money too. And they ruined the DC characters. They ruined those films because they were greedy. And then don't get me started with AT&T. When they bought Warner Bros., they just continued that hate and just drove it to their death with the Flash, and yeah, that movie destroyed it. And I am one of those people that really likes the Flash movie. I will be honest, not the actor. The actor's a piece of shit. But since you can call me biased all you want, because I'm a huge fan of the Flash. Like, I have like the most comics I have is of the Flash and Batman and now Superman, because I love the Flash. Because he has the best powers. Who doesn't like a superhero that runs at the lightest speed? That's freaking awesome. But I like the Flash movie. I'll admit it. I'm one of those people that liked it. Yeah, the special effects aren't that great, but the storytelling is really good. I will defend that film on the hill. I will. That's one of the last DCEU films I will defend, because I do really like that film. Maybe 10 years from now, I'll be like, what the hell was I thinking? But for right now, I like the Flash film. I know that has a target on my back now from these people that hate it, but yeah, so where was I going? I kind of lost the train of my thought. I have a script right here, but I'm kind of going off the script right now, as you can tell. Like I said, this video is going to be very confusing, because I want to talk about the history of how we got to Man of Steel, and be talking about reviewing Man of Steel. Yeah, so I'll try focusing on the script I wrote, but when I think of something, I just gotta talk about it, because I haven't made a video about the Flash movie. I probably will never, because I know half the comments will be trashing the video, but I just wanted to, this one time, to defend the Flash movie, because I think it's actually a really good movie. Anyway, so yes, I was talking about how AT&T ruined WB, because they did. Just not the DC films. They ruined all their films when AT&T owned it. And yeah, Discovery might not be doing the best job. Yeah, David Zaslav is a piece of shit. But at least WB kinda has respect again. Kinda. I don't know what they're doing with their streaming and shit. We went from HBO Max to now HBO Max, because why would you get rid of the HBO name? Anyway, that's again another video talking shit about David Zaslav, because what a piece of shit he is. Anyway, let's get back to the actual point of this video, because again, I did cancel movie dumps, so these rants I gotta probably just tell on social media on my Bluesky account. Hey, follow me on Bluesky, I'm on there. That's my main social. It's way better than Twitter. Less toxic, less disgusting. Go on Bluesky, it's very peaceful there. Yeah, so I guess that's where you're gonna see my rant, because if you didn't know, I guess this part might be deleted. I might cut this part out. If it's not cut, here's the announcement. If you didn't see my post that I wrote yesterday, Movie Dump is getting canceled. I just didn't enjoy making them anymore. I don't want to make content for you guys that I don't care about, because I care about you guys, the people, the small audience I have, I appreciate. And I don't want to make videos I don't like, that I know you guys won't like then. Because I do YouTube for a hobby. I like making these videos for a hobby. It's really fun to do, talk about film, because I want to be a filmmaker. Will it happen? Probably not, but you never know. So I like making these videos talking about films. But movie dump was something I just didn't enjoy anymore, especially with scoopers getting worse with their lies and them being toxic and them kind of just ruining films for people. I was like, I don't want to be adding to that. So yeah, for now, movie dump is over. So these rants about David Zaslav being a piece of shit probably will be on my Bluesky, because I can't talk about it with you guys on video form because I'm canceling movie dump. Finally, on to the actual video, talking about the history of how we got to Man of Steel, the most controversial DC film since the Snyder Cut. So even if I don't love Man of Steel anymore, I can still understand why people do love it, because Henry Cavill was a perfect Superman. He really was. It was just what was given to him was not great. It wasn't Superman, and Henry Cavill was wasted. His career is fucking sad because people freaking use that poor guy. Yeah, poor guy. Anyway, and it is a gorgeous movie. This movie is gorgeous to look at. The shots are so cinematically beautiful. That's what Zack Snyder does well. He makes fucking paintings into live action. It's amazing what he can do. Wish he could do that for his actual writing, because whoo! And the action is top notch. Like, the action with Man of Steel is amazing. And the flying scenes are still one of the best we've ever seen. I can't wait for James Gunn's Superman, because the flying scenes look really good on there. But we're not talking about James Gunn's Superman right now. We're talking about Man of Steel. Man of Steel has really amazing shots of him flying. It's the best we've still have seen. And so there's still a lot to like about this movie, and there's a lot not to like about this movie. This movie has a lot fighting against it, because the Man of Steel had so much potential to be one of the best Superman movies we ever gotten. Yeah, you can never top Christopher Reeve's Superman. That is iconic. That's an iconic, amazing film that, to me, is one of the most perfect films of all time. But Man of Steel had the potential to be one of the next best Superman films. It had so much going for it. Like I said, Henry Cavill was perfectly casted. The story could have been so much better, and it was just wasted from Zack Snyder, because Zack Snyder's not the best storyteller. Yes, when someone else writes his films, they're fine or they're great. When he writes them, like Rebel Moon, they're absolute shit. So I think if they went with a different director that was more talented, Man of Steel would probably be considered one of the best Superman films. I know that's controversial to say, but let's be honest. Zack Snyder's not the best filmmaker. See how it began. Finally getting, after 19 minutes of me filming, by the way, because I went on a rant I shouldn't have went on about David Zaslav and about Zack Snyder ruining DC. I'm just passionate about these characters, goddammit. I'm passionate about films. So we're finally getting to the history of how we got to Man of Steel. So it all began in 2009 with the release of Iron Man, a surprise hit that made a lot of money. Critically, it was loved, and it made enough money to start the Marvel Universe. Well, DC was like, well, we want that money. We got Harry Potter, we got, what else franchise did WB own? Lord of the Rings, and then we got DC. We have The Dark Knight was just released a year ago, and that did really well. Let's just add on to DC with our own universe. Good idea. On paper, sounds like a great idea. Here's the spoiler. If these people actually cared, if they actually cared about these characters, if they actually cared about good storytelling, the DCEU could have had a different path than the downfall. So it all began in 2009 with Iron Man. And by the way, since that was such a financial, we got so much dead universes from studios, from the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, dead. We got that weird polar bear movie that wanted to be a franchise. You remember that movie with Nicole Kidman? That's a real movie, by the way. I remember rewatching that film when I was younger. That failed, dead. I think that was dead on arrival, actually, because no one remembers that film, by the way. And then we got one of the worst failures of cinematic history, or movie history, is the Dark Universe with Tom Cruise. That was DOA. That was dead on arrival. Oh, I could have saw Johnny Depp as Invisible Man. What a missed opportunity. Whew. Could have saw Tom Cruise be the dead spy. Whoa, so cool. What a waste. And then we got WB with DC. And there was so much potential because DC characters are amazing. They're better than Marvel, I'm telling you. DC Universe is better than Marvel. I'm talking about the comics and the animation. It's so much better. But WB, Time Warner, and AT&T did not care. That's why it failed years later. We're not to that point yet. We were just at the start of the idea. And it was about to start with... So, it was about to start with Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight. The Dark Knight was a huge hit. They're like, let's continue that success with our own DC Universe that's separated from the Dark Knight with Hal Jordan's Green Lantern 2011. And by the way, I'm just so glad we're getting Lanterns. Finally, the Green Lanterns, again, another favorite character of mine, is finally getting respect after like 10 years. Thank you, James Gunn. And so it started with the Green Lantern 2011 starring Ryan Reynolds. That was supposed to be their starting point of a new universe. Oh my god, imagine that alternate universe. If Green Lantern seceded, can you imagine Ryan Reynolds not being Deadpool? Like, ain't that crazy? Anyway. And I will admit it, I still like 2011's Green Lantern. Is it great? No. Is it bad? Yes, but I like it. It's just stupid fun I can enjoy. I watched it a few months ago. I watched it a few months ago on HBO Max. I was like, I kind of like it. I know lots of people hate it. But yeah, lots of people hated it. And that's not good for starting a universe. And by the way, can we have Ryan Reynolds stop making jokes about Green Lantern? It's been like 12 years. Get over it, dude. Like, move on. So Ryan Reynolds, I know you're totally watching this. Or you're harassing that poor actor, I don't know. But, can you stop making Green Lantern jokes? It's been like 13 years. Get over it, dude. You're Deadpool. People love you. I don't know if people still love you, but stop making Green Lantern jokes. But Green Lantern was a huge failure, critically, audience. Everyone hated the film, and it was a huge bomb. Again, not great for starting off a universe, so they were like, oh shit. So, that's a big problem. What do they do now? Do they give up? Do they start years later, like a decade later, they start with a reboot? No. It is a miracle Man of Steel was not a train wreck. Because Green Lantern was in 2011. Man of Steel was 2013, so only 2-year difference from starting an all new DC universe. That is fast and rushing, and Man of Steel could have been so much worse. Seriously, they're lucky. It's a miracle it wasn't a train wreck, because they moved on so fast with creating another universe, what we know as DCEU. It's a miracle it didn't crash and burn like Green Lantern. So what did people think of Man of Steel when it came out? 50-50. 50% of the critics loved it, 50% hated it. Same with audience. Most audience wasn't a fan, but lots of the audience, like me at the time, loved it. And it was enough because it made over $600 million. And spoiler for the future of the DCEU, you know how it's dead now. That is because Warner Bros, Time Warner, and then when it was AT&T, were so greedy that they thought $600 million wasn't enough for a Man of Steel 2 or 3. $600 million, that is a lot of money. Especially right now when films, when they go to theaters, can't even crack $100 million because theaters are dying. Over 600 at the time was huge. But WB's so greedy, and that's what eventually killed the DCEU. That's actually what just killed WB until Discovery bought them, because they were always greedy. for more money. You remember that meme? Money. No, I don't know. How this movie starts is fucking amazing. When we see Zack Snyder's version of Krypton, it is beautiful. We see, because I love, like I said, I love Christopher Reeve's Superman. But Krypton, since it was the 70s, it was a frozen planet. It wasn't that much detail. But with today's technology, Krypton looked freaking amazing. We had civilization and buildings. We had animals, their version of animals. Krypton, the Krypton scene at the beginning is amazing. It's chef's kiss. Jor-El, this time, is played by the wonderful Russell Crowe. Wasted. Oh my god, is he wasted. So Krypton, spoiler, is dying. What? Krypton blows up and gets destroyed. What? Spoiler for 80 years of this character. And this version, why it's getting destroyed is because of corruption and greed. Sounds familiar. We've kind of changed on Earth. Jor-El is looking for a relic of a skull they call the Codex. This is how this version of Krypton, that's how they populate. And he wants this Codex skull for his son. I really never understood the scene because how Superman gets his powers is from our sun. The yellow sun is what gives him powers. I never understood what the glowing skull did to Kal-El when he was younger. I don't understand. I don't know if that... They never explained. I don't know if that gave him powers or if it was... Or... I don't understand. It was never explained that well with this movie. I don't understand why Jor-El wanted the skull of Codex so much for his son. I don't understand because, again, Superman from the comics and most adaptions, he gets his powers naturally because he's Kryptonian, and the yellow sun gives him the powers. That's why on Krypton, if Krypton was still alive, this is nerd talk, by the way, so if you want to skip, you can. On Krypton, he would be normal, but since Krypton got destroyed and he went on Earth, the yellow sun gives him power. That's why Jor-El picked Earth, because it has the yellow sun. He knew that would make his son the most powerful being. I don't understand the skull. It's never really explained. Especially with the Flash movie with... Yeah, that also didn't make any sense. Anyway. But with him trying to get that skull, we get this really cool chase scene with dragons, Kryptonian dragons. It's pretty sweet. So then he gets back home, where, holy shit, he hooked up with Vanessa from Daredevil. Holy shit, that's what Vanessa was doing when Kingpin got locked up. Holy shit, she fooled around with Jor-El, so she went to outer space, and, well, she's rich. Rich people can do anything, so, oh wow, and then she hooked up with Jor-El and gave birth to the most powerful being. God damn, what can Vanessa not do? Wow. But the actress plays Laura, Superman's mom, and she also knows that the planet is doomed and she doesn't want to give up her son because she loves him. And she wants him safe and cared for, but she knows he won't be safe on this planet because they're all going to die. So she knows she has to give him up for him to start a new life on planet Earth. And it breaks her heart. It's heartbreaking. And so she agrees with Jor-El to let Kid Kal go to a different planet. And the best character arrives of the film. Oh my god, Michael Shannon as General Zod. Chef's kiss casting. Holy shit. He's the best part of this film. If it wasn't for Michael Shannon, this film would struggle so much because he just lifts this film up. I love Michael Shannon. I love that guy. And he plays General Zod, and he plays him damn well, I can tell you that. And he is one angry son of a bitch. Every sentence General Zod says is him yelling. It's like, dude, you gotta take some cough drops, dude, because your throat is gonna burst, dude. Every scene he freaking yells, and it's...
I will find him, Lara. I will find him!
Nice.
Well, him and Jor-El fight because he needs the Codex for the future of Krypton. I guess maybe that's right. No, it doesn't justify why he gave the skull to his son. It still doesn't make sense. But General Zod wants it because he wants to start new on a different planet because he knows Krypton's getting destroyed, so he's trying to overthrow. Well, no, he didn't know the. Talk about me forgetting about the fucking plot. So, I watched it last night. So, General Zod wants to overthrow the government. He doesn't know the planet's getting destroyed. He thinks it's fake. But he wants the Codex because Jor-El stole it. They fight. Jor-El looks up to see his son on the ship being taken off. Not taken off the ship, but the ship is being flown to a different planet. Yeah, that makes sense. So, let me say it again. So, Jor-El looks up, sees his son in the ship, the ship gets... Why is it so hard for me to say it? Ugh! Word vomit right now. So Kal-El flies up the sky, okay? On the ship, he flies up the sky. And Jor-El looks up to witness his son for the last time, and he gets killed, stabbed by the angry General Zod. Okay, so I forgot to explain why he wants to overthrow the government is because Krypton's leaders are fucking corrupt and greedy. I mean, they look like the royal family. Like, goddamn, you need that much jewelry on you when you freaking have a council meeting? Goddamn. So, that's why he wants to overthrow the government. So, then... Okay, so I don't understand the art direction for this scene. So, not George, because Jor-El's dead. So, General Zod and his army get arrested from the authorities, the Kryptonian authorities. They have to stand trial in front of the leaders of Krypton. And what makes this is like the most unintentional funny scene and also so stupid is because Jor-El, before Jor-El dies, he tells the leaders, let's just go into the Phantom Zone and start new. Let's start new civilization. They're like, oh no, you poor peasant. Yeah, you think you're so smart, but Krypton will live on forever. Well, how did that go, you dumb fucks? So then, with the trial, instead of the leaders listening to Jor-El and going to the Phantom Zone, starting new, they send General Zod and his army in penis ships. These ships look like penises. Sends them up to the Phantom Zone. I don't understand the art direction of having the ships be penises. I don't understand the joke. I don't understand. So, yeah, what the hell is going on? Like, I don't understand that scene at all. It makes no sense. They're like, yes, we won't go to the Phantom Zone, but we will send you criminal, we'll send you to the Phantom Zone. Yes. Okay. So then Kal gets to Earth and it transitions to the future where adult Clark, he takes these odd jobs because when he saves someone as Superman, but he's not Superman yet, when he saves them, he doesn't want to get caught by the government because he's a powerful alien, so he goes to the next town, gets a job there. And then this is when we get to our next problem. The flashbacks make no sense. Because yes, with any film, you can have flashbacks, but it has to make sense to the present day story. It has to make sense. These flashbacks make sense because it's the flashbacks are the origins of Clark Kent on Earth growing up with loving parents and how they dealt with raising a powerful being. It makes sense, but the flashbacks, I feel like the editor of this film ordered it the wrong way because we'll get the present day scenes and then it'll just cut to a flashback origin that makes no sense to the future scene. I feel like the flashbacks were done out of order. Whoever edited it wrong, because that's a major issue with this film is the flashbacks are so much and they're like out of order. It's weird. I just watch Man of Steel and you'll realize these flashbacks make no sense where they're placed. So that's my first problem with this film. There's many more. I do love how this is an immigrant story because it's an alien trying to find his place on Earth, and the American government is trying to find him and take him away. Sounds sound horribly familiar right now. But this movie has really amazing storylines that are sadly wasted, and there's so much potential with this film. That's what makes this film so angry for me, because there's so much potential for good storytelling. Because we get 3 storylines. We get the Lois storyline with her investigating Clark, because she wants to know more about him. She wants to learn about his story. Really interesting. That's who Lois Lane is. She's an investigator. But that gets dropped. I can tell you that. Spoilers, that gets dropped because as soon as she meets Clark, she gets horny for him and just drops the story. She faked being a reporter. Like, she's actually a reporter, but she faked someone's name to spy and investigate the military when they're at Antarctica looking at the Kryptonian ship. She fakes being someone to investigate it, and then as soon as she meets Clark, she loves him right away and horny for him, because all she wants to do is kiss him, and she just drops. That's another problem with this film. Lois Lane in this film is not Lois Lane from the comics or any of the adaptation. Lois Lane is a very strong female character who's an amazing journalist, and she'll put herself in danger to get that story. And she has attitude. That's what we love about Lois Lane. She has goddamn attitude. And with Amy Adams, again, amazing actress. She's wasted because her Lois is just so annoying. If you took her out of this film would work perfectly fine, because she's so annoying. It's just disappointing because the storyline with her was done at first so well. It's Lois Lane from the comics. She wants to investigate this alien, see what his story's like. Like I said, she fakes it to the military so she can investigate this spaceship that she thinks is connected to this alien. And then, like I said, as soon as she meets Clark, she drops it because she wants to fuck him. It's like, what? I don't understand what Zack Snyder was doing. Like, you had a really good storyline that you wasted to make Lois Lane a horny lady. So, yeah, it's just disappointing because Lois Lane is such an amazing character that's wasted with this film. Something I love and hate about this film is the origins of Superman. At first, it's done beautifully. We get Clark finally finding who he is with going to the Kryptonian ship at the Antarctica and him connecting to the ship because he's Kryptonian, and him talking to an AI Jor-El and learning about the history of Krypton. And it's an amazing scene, and he finally suits up and we get that first flight, and it's so beautiful. Hey, take a picture. That's Superman smiling. That's the only time you'll see Henry Cavill Superman smiling throughout the DCEU. So take that picture, keep it, frame it on the wall, because the last time you'll see him smile. Because we can't have an edgy Superman smiling. Superman's totally edgy. He's totally edgy character. Him first being Superman is just magical because, like I said, you get that amazing first flight with the music, and it's amazing. And then you get General Zod arriving on Earth, and really cool, scary scene of him talking to the people on Earth, and with this really cool static key on the TV. It's really cool. And we get this amazing scene where General Zod threatens Superman's mother, and Superman tackles Zod, beating him because he loves his mother, showing the humanity Clark has. And then we get the again, all the action with this film is amazing. It's amazing. We get the amazing action scene where General Zod's army attacks Superman, and he doesn't want anyone hurt, so he tells people to go indoors, go to safety. That's something Superman would do from the comics and the animation. That's something he would do because he cares about the human life. He cares about humans. And then that all gets ruined when they actually fight, and Superman and the Kryptonians cause so much damage in this town. Like, what was the point of you telling people to go indoors when they're going to be dead with a train being flown right at them? Like, I get it. Zack Snyder loves having really cool action scenes, but he forgets what he sets up. And that's the problem with Zack Snyder as a filmmaker, is he wants these amazing action scenes, but then forgets about the storytelling. Like, to have really good action films, like John Wick, I can't think of anything right now, but those films are amazing because the action's amazing, but also the story and the characters are amazing. Zack Snyder forgets those. It's just so disappointing. By the way, that town attack is a foreshadow for the end of the film. You'll get what I'm talking about. So yes, General Zod is the villain of this story. Is he really? Yes, he is, because to get his way, he'll kill, and that's bad. But you can understand his motives, because he lost Krypton, he lost his people, and he wants to start new on this planet with bringing Krypton back. You get his motives because he never got to grief. He never got to grieve the loss of his planet and his people. His motives make sense. Superman's motives make sense. He was raised on Earth, so he's not close to Krypton. So he wants to protect the Earth people. That's what this film does so well, again, is the motives. It actually does a lot better than most modern superhero films, because modern superhero films really don't have good motivation. But somehow Man of Steel has really good motivations for each character. It's something Zack Snyder does really well. Let's finally conclude with the ending of this film, the ending battle. That truly ruined this film. For many people, including me now. And this is the DC version of 9/11. I'm not joking. This is their version of 9/11, and it is gruesome. Okay, so again, there's some scenes in this battle I do like. Like, I love when Superman is trying to take out the world engine, and he struggles, but he doesn't give up. Because that's Superman. He doesn't give up. He wants everyone safe. That's an amazing scene. And another amazing thing that's heartbreaking is Jenny from the Daily Planet gets trapped under rubble, and Perry White and Steve try helping her, and it's a really good emotional scene. And then, this is where we get to my problems, where 90% of the people fell off with this film, is the destruction of Metropolis. That is a major problem. Again, the action is amazing, but thousands of people die. And that is not Superman. Again, when I was younger, I didn't understand the hate. I was like, it's cool, it's a cool scene. Growing up now, I'm like, yeah, I get it. I get why people don't like the scene. Because that is not Superman. Henry Cavill was not a good Superman. Yes, he was perfectly casted. But his characteristics are not Superman from the source material. Superman is this hopeful character. And he's kind. He's kind to everyone. He wants everyone safe and cared for. He doesn't want any human life to be dead. If he has a chance, if someone's in danger, he will help them. That's Superman. He's the perfect human being. He's kindness and hopeful. Henry Cavill's Superman is edgy and dark. He's not Batman. They made Superman Batman. Okay. That's my problem with Henry Cavill's Superman. He's not Superman. He's like Batman. Edgy and dark. That's not Superman. So, I can understand why people don't like this film, including me. I like the film, I just don't love it anymore. I can see why people don't and hate this film. I can't even argue. I can't defend it. I understand their hate. The issue is, if this was Christopher Reeve's Superman or Superman from the comics and animation, even if he was busy fighting that Kryptonian, he would try to save everyone. And if he didn't, he would have guilt. He would feel so bad. This Henry Cavill's version couldn't give a damn. He causes half of the destruction. And the worst part of it is when he finally thinks when Superman fights Zod and he takes down Zod, he thinks Zod is taken out. Him and Lois share a kiss. But in the background, there's all this death and destruction. Superman could not give a damn. This version could not give a damn. And then we get to the ending, what I think is the most controversial ending of any film. I'll say that. This movie has the most controversial, stupid ending of any film I've ever seen. That being harsh, yeah, I don't give a shit. Is is Zod's death. Superman killing Zod. Again, Superman is just like Batman. Yeah. Okay, so just like Batman, Batman has no kill rule. He doesn't kill anyone. He's against that. Same with Superman. Superman has a no kill rule. He wants everyone safe, even his villains. He'll try to protect. And then Henry Cavill's is just bam, snaps the neck, and then he's screaming. He's like, "I'm the last Kryptonian." It's like, you did not need to kill Zod. There is 3 options for the scene. So the scene starts with Zod being back. He attacks Superman. They land in this train station with people running out. This family is trapped because Zod is shooting his laser beams. Superman has him in a chokehold, trying to stop him, and then he snaps his neck, killing Zod. What should have happened? There was three options Zack could have done. 3. First, here's the first option. Superman could have grabbed Zod, fly up. That family is saved. Option 2, put his hands over the laser beams, protecting the family. Last option, Superman is like the Flash. He's a speedster also. Run at the lightest speed, save that family. There you go. There's 3 options Zack could have done, and he did none because Zack wanted to be edgy and opposite of Superman. Because there's this famous, I should say infamous scene, it's not scene, clip, of Zack Snyder on the Joe Rogan, that piece of shit. He was on his podcast, and he talked about how, again, he doesn't like superheroes, and how he doesn't want to be told what to do. Like when, because WB, Time Warner at the time, told him, Superman can't kill, Batman can't kill, and Zack Snyder was like, I'm going to do the opposite, because Zack Snyder does not care. Enjoy the clip.
People are always like, well, Batman can't kill, right? So Batman can't kill is canon. And I'm like, okay, well, the first thing I want to do when you say that is I want to see what happens. And they go like, well, don't put him in a situation where he has to kill someone. I'm like, well, that's just like you're protecting your God in a weird way, right? You're making your God irrelevant if he can't be in that situation. Like,
I mean, it's a stupid take. It's a really stupid take.
That's Zack Snyder, and that's very disappointing because I like most of Zack Snyder films, and watching that clip, knowing he never really cared about these characters, it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing. So to conclude, Man of Steel is still a movie I like. And no, I don't love it anymore. And that's pretty sad that I used to love this film and now I don't. I just like it now. So, but, next week. Oh, I can't wait. If you get this next week. Again, my schedule is very shitty because I'm lazy. I'm trying not to be lazy. So, hopefully next week you'll get this video. The next video. And it is the best movie ever made. It is Christopher Reeve's Superman films. I cannot wait. Alright, I'll see you guys soon. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe. Share. Follow me on socials. I'm on Bluesky and Instagram. Peace out, guys.